I mean, it's been really fun. It's just a cool process for me. You know, I'm always like really, I enjoy being around people, so I enjoy being around like a lot of new guys. It was the same whenever I was at SMU, especially last year. We had like, probably like 8 new guys, so we had to like have a quick turnaround. So it was just about like bonding more, you know, being just, you know, it's just we're basketball players, but at the same time we're still like kind of young adults at the same time. So we meet new people every day, and it's just like, you know, a cool stage in our life to do that, and especially doing like the sports that we like. So it's just been like really smooth for the most part.
Talking with Coach Hoiberg and Sam Riesel last week, they both mentioned you as a guy that's kind of emerged already as one of the better vocal leaders. And I know that you're a new guy in the program, but played a lot of basketball, has been around successful teams. How have you tried to integrate yourself into that leadership role?
I mean, it was just a day-by-day thing for me. It's just, you know, I came literally like a week later than everybody, so I couldn't just, you know, barge in and just, you know, imply like, you know, put the law, basically like a law or whatever. I was just like, let me go in, you know, the group's energy and let me follow it. And you know, it's basketball. I got a lot of experience, like you just said, and I know basketball. I think so. I think I do know basketball a little bit. So, you know, sometimes if I can, like, you know, give some advice or some tips to like some of my players, some of my teammates, I'll do that. And that's exactly what I did. It was just a day-by-day thing. And I told Coach Irby before I came here, I was like, whatever you need, I'll make sure that I can like bring it to the table for the team.
Well, off of that, you and Reese were saying about a week ago that you and Dewan have been the old heads and kind of hanging out off of just practicing too. How's that been like being with them?
I mean, I live with Jamal, so it's like pretty cool to have him, like, you know, I see his face literally 24/7. But actually, we like bound together, so it's actually cool. Like we kind of have the same energy. We both goofballs. We laugh a lot. We do stuff together. Also on the weekends a lot. So it's just been cool. With Greasel, it's been a little different because we don't live together. But like as off the court, we talk a lot. We've been asking each other questions about how it was in our previous school that we were at last year, and I got to know a little bit about him. And honestly, I did some research on him to see how he plays, just to like whenever he comes in, I'm ready to like, you know, make sure I'm the best teammate for him and make sure that I can find him in his spot. So it's just, you know, I think he did pretty much the same thing about me. He's watching the all practice because he can't practice with us just yet. But you know, we've been doing a good job of bounding together, coming together to get ready for this big year. Yeah.
When you say research, are you watching YouTube highlights? Are you going through his basketball reference?
Yeah, I did watch. I pretty much did that with everybody that came in, like literally like the new guys, the whole guys that was the returners. I did that. I watched the games that they play this year just to see, like, you know, some guys like CJ, make sure like wherever he wants the ball, where he needs it and stuff like that. Did the same thing with Sam Griesel. Did it with Jawan. Well, some of the others that don't have like the tapes, like enough tapes to watch them. It's just I did it the first practice. I was like watching them and seeing where they love to have the ball and stuff like that. It's just like, you know, at that level, it's like, you know, making sure that everybody's comfortable and making sure that we can be efficient at, you know, playing basketball. So that's one way to do it. So that's kind of, yeah, I did it with YouTube basically. Yeah.
When and how did you start to? You said at the beginning you didn't want to just come in and be, you know, barking out orders. When and how did you start to feel more comfortable in that role?
I mean, it started like, you know, getting to know people like off the court. It was pretty much off the court. Most of the stuff, you know, getting to know each other, like, you know, a little bit more, create like those relationship already, because we are not only like basketball players. At the end of the day, we are a big family, and it started just like that, getting to know everybody, getting to like, you know, do off the court stuff that y'all know about a little bit, you know, going out a little bit, going to a restaurant and some stuff like that. So I think that's where it started, and it went from there. It was just like, it just clicked in, literally.
One of the things Coach Hoiberg mentioned about you is there's not a lot of guys, especially in basketball, that don't have a bad day, and you're one of them. Where does that come from, that positivity?
I do have bad days. I'm not perfect, but it's just, you know, about the mentality. Whenever it's like whenever something bad happens in my day, the way I look at it is like it's only 5 seconds or like a minute of it. I don't want to ruin the rest of my day with it, and I think I do a good job of like, you know, having like quick turnarounds like this. It's like whenever stuff happens, it happened already. So it's in the past. Now you got to move on and, you know, look at the present and the future. So I think that's the way I look at it.
For fans that are not familiar with your game, how do you describe your skill set, Emmanuel?
Pretty versatile. I mean, I play offense and defense. I love playing defense, especially on that side of the court. It's something that I bring. I love to kind of coordinate everything on defense, making sure that everybody is at the good spot. And offensively, I think that I'm kind of like a do-it-all, a little bit player. I shoot the ball pretty well. I can pass the ball really well. Got a good feel for the game, and I mean, I just bring whatever is needed for the team to the table. So really, whatever the team needs, I'll do it. Really.
You look at the roster, we have 3 super seniors with you, Derek, and Sam, and then a lot of young guys. What kind of impact do you think you seniors can have in this 1 year together to set up those guys for future success?
I mean, it's really not us. I mean, we setting the tone basically kind of in practice and all of that. So they kind of see what are the standards and all of that. But we got pretty good like freshmen, like Kale, Ramel that came in, Jamarcus. They are actually not freshmen. They actually like mature players, and you know, it's like we setting the standards for them, but at the same time they really catching on really fast on like little stuff, and they want to work out, they want to work hard. So it's like something that is not given to everybody, and they pretty much have this already. So it's like, yes, we send the standards for them, but at the same time they are really good basketball players and really mature people, so they already know what to do.
What was it about the opportunity here that maybe, you know, made Nebraska the place for you, for your last year?
Coach Warburg, I mean, I had a lot of conversation with my whole coach, Tim Jankovic, and I'm still talking to this day. Told me about him. I had same thing with Coach Rob Lanier, that's the new coach at SMU. Talked with him about the coaches that were recruiting me and all that stuff. Watched a lot of film, and the play style was just, you know, it's just a perfect play style. It's the NBA style of play style, basically. So it was something that I was looking into, and also being the Big Ten, one of the best, if not maybe top 2 best conference in the NCAA, is something that I looked at too. It's like, I'm going to play at that level. I want to see where my game is standing at right now and make him, like, you know, just having a better chance to make it in the NBA. So it was just the perfect fit for me.
You dabbled in the draft process this offseason. What kind of feedback did you get from teams?
I mean, most of the teams, they kind of know that I'm like a kind of two-way guy. So like on that aspect of my game, they were saying that I was pretty solid. The other part that they want to see is me like handling the ball more, coming off pick and rolls, creating for myself and for my teammates, something that I couldn't do as much at SMU, which wasn't that much my role over there. So they want to see that aspect of my game and see me shooting like higher clips, like more efficiently. So yeah, that was pretty much the feedback that I received from
You know,
them.
you guys are trying to add something to your game every offseason. What has changed about your game?
It's being more polished about, like, you know, being a ball handler. Yes, I got a good feel for the game, but now it's just being like really, really efficient and making it at like a high level. I can score on all 3 levels. That's something that I've been doing pretty much my whole career, but now it's really like doing it as a higher level. And that's pretty much like what I want to do this year. It's like literally I've been in the gym working with the managers, with Coach Warburg and all the other coaches. It's something that I really work on to, you know, being able to bring my game to another level where I can, like, you know, get the chance to get drafted.
What sort of drills do you do to work on polished ball handling skills?
A lot of ball handling, a lot of situation drills, like, you know, coming off a handoff and reading the defense, maybe going to the rim, shooting the ball, or like stepping back and shooting. So it's just about like, it's really like game like kind of drills I'm doing, especially like in the offense that we have. Is like basically like certain position where I will be able to score, or where I'll be able to facilitate for other players. It's just like those types of drills that I'm doing right now at the moment, and lots of shooting, a lot of stuff, working on my footwork, and, you know, some stuff that Coach Warburg saw on film, and he was like, well, that needs to be polished, that needs to be better, and that's basically where I started. That's where we went from.
Coach Warburg talked about adding length and versatility with an emphasis on the What kind of defensive potential do you see with this group? Obviously, not everybody's out there yet, but and what kind of role can you play in helping them take a leap on defense?
I mean, for me, the way I see defense is defense. Everybody can play defense. It's just about effort, and right now it's just like making sure that everybody is disciplined and bringing the effort, because it's just about like we're really smart already. We got smart players. We got athletic players, tall players, long players. So it's just about like putting all of that together and stay disciplined. That's really just the most important part. Is just about like, you know, not us beating ourselves, not us like putting us in weird rotations and stuff like that. Just being on the same page all the time. And I think that's what I can bring. I love to like coordinate in defense, making sure that everybody on the same page, making sure that everybody on the right position. And the rest is just effort. So that's individual. It's just like, you know, you yourself every day, you bring in it, you're 110%, and we hold each other accountable. Like I do the same, like Derek do the same, like Sam Grissom is supposed to do the same. If we want to be on the same page and do something this year, that's what we all have to do, and I'll make sure that we will do that.
What have you learned about Juwan Gary from living with him?
Juwan, what can I say? Loves Netflix, loves watching a lot of movies. I know he watches Stranger Things right now, which is a show that I don't know how long he's been watching it, but that's what I learned from him. And also, that's some funny stuff about him is most of the time, like, he's really quiet. But then on the weekend, you'll just hear him blasting some music. I mean, not blasting like crazy blasting, but he'll be blasting like music and listen to some music and just sing. And he's not a bad singer. He's actually pretty good. So that's one thing that I learned about him.
You guys are a relatively new team, a lot of new pieces, but you're an older team.
Mm-hmm.
You, Sam, Derek. How have you seen just the makeup of this group on and off the floor compared to some other teams, successful teams that you've been a part of? How was the first month of your experience here compared with previous months?
This month, I want to say it was great. I mean, just for example, with Derek, like the second that I met him, we were just literally like clicking. It's like it was a long lost friend that I had and I didn't even know about. So it was really funny that we clicked like literally on the first day that we met each other. And I think the same went for Sam. It's like he's just a cool guy. I'm pretty sure y'all kind of felt that whenever y'all talk to him. He's just a guy that you feel like you can be around him, and he's just bringing a good energy. And that's one of the things about that team, that is pretty much everybody's like that. Everybody's like an energy giver. Everybody's like cool to be around. It's like easy going, nothing like, you know, there's no like friction or whatever. So it's something that is like translate to the court really easily, because like whenever it's getting tough or there's adversity, it's like we look at each other and we're like, oh, we got this. We're together in this. It's just like that's the same thing that happened like with the leadership part that I had to play in there. It was just like I didn't force anything. It just came, and everybody was just like, well, we're going with it. And that's pretty much the same thing that's going on right now, yeah.
You're a guy that has mentioned in the past you like to embrace contact on defense. Juwan's like that. Blaze is like that. Derek is like that. I don't know how much live stuff you guys have done yet, but when you do, how physical are those competitions? Really
physical. I mean, I've seen Juwan play, but like to be able to see him play actually and go for like, let's say an offensive rebound, I'm like, okay, he's not somebody to play around with. He's gonna hit you and then jump over you and get a rebound. And it's like that's that physicality that we need. The Big Ten is physical, and especially if you can bring that to the table like every night, it's gonna be really hard to stop him offensively and defensively, because he's really the one who's like seeking for contact. He's not the one to be like shying away from it. And we got other guys like Ramel. Ramel is actually pretty physical whenever he wants to. Like whenever he gets mad or whatever, and we make sure that he gets mad sometimes. Even the coaches make sure that he gets mad. He's really the type to be like really physical and really like kind of like chime in and really like being another level type of guy. So it's just like, it's something that we love. It's something that, you know we need to bring it to the table, especially us being like a little smaller team. We need to be like more scrappy. Like we need to be like the scrappiest team in this league. So I think that's just to set the tone right now during the summer will be perfect, so we can like build on it until like November, the first game.
What's the best way to make Ramel mad?
The best way to make him mad? I think Coach Nate got it to the T. Literally, whenever we do like a defensive drill, And it's all about details. Whenever it's like you don't close out with high hands, or you don't like, because we are a no middle team. So like, let's say Ramel close out a little short. Literally, Coach Nate would blow his whistle and be like, Ramel, we not doing it this way. And it gets on him because he wants to do the thing. He wants to do everything perfect. So whenever you do it like a couple times, and everybody's like trying to like, cheer him up, it's like getting to him because he's like, okay, I'm like messing up right now, so it's like annoying, and I'm not trying to mess up. So now it's like, okay, let me turn, like let me focus, and then that's basically the best way to do it. I'm really telling you, Coach Nate got it to the T. He really got it.
Anything else from Emmanuel?
Away from basketball, what do you think of being in the Midwest? How's that transition been for you? Adjusting to life in Lincoln?
It's really green. And it's really funny because it's really green, literally like no hills, it's really flat. But it's actually cool at the same time. It's like the same vibe that I get from back home in Quebec, Canada. So it's like kind of the same thing, but at the same time it's a little different. But I'm kind of getting used to it. I'm like kind of the guy that's staying at home or enjoy being in the nature a little bit. So like it's nothing new. And like I said, Coach Olberg, before I got here, I was like, well, it doesn't matter where I'll be. I can't be in the desert and play basketball, and that's fine with me. So it's just cool to be here. Lincoln is pretty welcoming for the most part.